Good afternoon, my community. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes, a little bit of everything. As I'm sitting on my back porch here and it's bumping 100 degrees on September the 3rd, 2023, I got to thinking, what are they forecasting for next summer for Texas? It doesn't look good. They are forecasting summer of 2024 after a cold winter. We're supposed to get a very cold winter here, which I'll take it, guys. Wet, which we desperately need, but they're predicting for the 2024 season to be hotter than this year. That is extremely discouraging, to say the least. It makes me want to pack up, and I'm going to be in Iceland from probably June to September next year, so y'all can look me up there. So, as a gardener and as a small farm, we are always trying to look ahead to see how we need to plan for the upcoming seasons. And yeah, we need to already start thinking about next summer and start thinking about what we're going to do to try to get our stuff in a little bit earlier, even earlier than we did this year, but also what can we grow in the heat of this dreadful summer that we're having. It didn't say anything about rainfall, but they did say that the temperatures were going to exceed what we have endured so far this year. We didn't break a record this year, guys, but we got darn close, and we're still not over. They're forecasting 100-degree temperatures at least starting midweek and into early next week. I'm really praying that that's going to change. I'm going to believe that the Lord's going to change that for us, because we are so tired of this heat, and it has just really nipped us in the bud, guys, this year, and we've been kind of down probably from the 1st of July all the way through the rest of July and August, as far as trying to get anything to grow and trying to get our fall seed starts. So I don't believe it's premature at all to start thinking about what are we going to be starting maybe in December and January and February. Now they're saying that our winter weather that is supposed to be very cold is going to start in January and February. And guys, that's when a lot of us are starting our seeds for our spring garden and for our starts, our plant starts. So we're going to have to start looking at ways to get those going and get those to prosper, so that we can get an early harvest again, guys. But we're also going to need to start seeing what we think we can grow. And I think this year our mistake was not succession planting as much as we should have been. So there's lots of changes that we're going to be doing for the coming spring season to prepare us maybe a little bit better for the succession planting, and try to keep certain things going. Now, you know, my purple hull peas didn't do good. They burned up. The okra on the back acre did okay, but it certainly didn't prosper like what I got in the high tunnels and around here, the front of the property. We are going to stick with the heavy hitter okra because it was the most prolific, and it will be our third generation of seeds grown in our area. But there's other things that we can probably start maybe in May. You know, squashes start coming in May, sometimes mid-May to the end of May. We can turn right back around and start some seeds to try to get them going, to prosper a little bit better, maybe in June and July, and keep us going, and maybe start some more tomato plants. And even though the heat may keep them from budding out, if we can get them going, that whenever we do start the cool down, they'll be about ready to pop. So these are things that we're looking at to try to better position ourselves for 2024. Now, we are working on the fall garden. If you've been watching, you know that we've planted carrots, and we've planted onions, and we've planted potatoes, and I've got some bok choy going. We've got some cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. We had to start those seeds under a mister, and they get misted every hour for 10 minutes. And so we are still plugging along, and we will continue to plug along, except for maybe during the deepest, hottest part of the summer. So I'm really concerned about next year. And I wanted to reach out to y'all, our community, because we have a fantastic community, and see what your plans were. And if you have delved into what it looks like it's going to be for your area next year, and if it looks like it's going to be a hotter summer for your area. So these are things we need to start considering now, even as we're still in summer here in Texas. We are seeing very strange skies here. It is hazy. We're not seeing any really blue sky. Maybe some thin clouds, but there's like a deep, thick haze over us, and the air quality is pretty bad, but it's very, very odd. And it kind of makes me wonder about some of the things they've been talking about, what they were going to do with the sun, if maybe some of that is taking place. And that's very, very, very concerning as a farm and as a gardener. Now, Greg has come up with some methods he thinks that he's going to try to use to heat the high tunnels. I'm not ready to talk about that yet because I'm not sure that that's the direction he's going to go in. He has tossed up several different ideas which may help us with our plant starts and our seed starts, and then once we start putting things in the ground to see what maybe we can keep alive if January and February looks to be a very cold time for us. Trying to get through another summer like the last two is not something that I really even want to consider at this point. You know, we're still 9 months away. We did have a nice spring this year. Maybe we'll have a nice spring next year. Now they're talking about the El Nino as what's going to contribute to that, which I kind of get a little concerned and a little confused because they were saying La Nina is what was contributing to the dry and the heat. Now they're saying that El Nino is going to contribute to the heat. So it seems like things are changing in our weather, and we all know what we're hearing. We all know what we think, and we all wonder if that is what's taking place right now to maybe edge some of us out or try to keep us from being as self-sustainable as we can. It's very, very concerning. One thing I want to bring up for us Texans is on the ballot in November is they are putting something for us to vote on that would increase money that goes to sustaining our grid and building more power plants and getting us a little bit more stable. I'm going to read further into that, but I encourage you to as well, because I know a lot of you guys are just as tired of hearing about these shortages as I am. So we need to look into that. And a lot of people don't vote off season except major elections. Guys, you need to read that. Here in Texas, you need to find out if that is the direction we want to go, and then we all need to get out and vote if that is truly what they're putting on the ballot. Also, supposedly ERCOT had a big shakeup at their meeting the other day, and some people were rearranged or terminated. I'm not sure. They're not giving a lot of information on it, but there was some kind of reorganization going on due to all the complaints and all the shortages and the unreliability of our grid here in Texas. So you might want to check that out as well. In light of all of this information, we will be doing a lot more investigating and a lot more checking on drought tolerant and heat tolerant plants for our garden next year and changing maybe some things up. Of course, we're going to have our normals, our tomatoes, which are big deals, and cucumbers, and our peppers and squash and zucchini. But we're really going to be looking into varieties that will be a little bit more acclimated to this extreme heat that we're having. It's guys, I really don't know what's going on. I did a video a couple of years ago saying are our planting seasons changing, and they sure have. They have changed, and it's getting deeply concerning to us as a small farm trying to start up, but also as a small farm trying to stock up our pantry and do our canning and our 365 challenge and our food preservations. These are all things that are just constantly going through my mind on what are we going to do? What are we going to do with these hot summers that we tend to be getting right now? And when will it end? My prayer life has kicked into high gear, and I know yours has too, and we need to start praying, guys. We need to start praying that this El Nino, if that's the case, is short-lived and that we kind of get back to some kind of a normal weather pattern. Now I see other people saying that it's going to be a couple more years, and it very well may be. But you know what? We serve a God that is fully able and fully capable and willing if his people will humble themselves and pray. And we need to start that now. We need to ask the Lord to start changing these weather patterns to help us out and to give us a reprieve and to give us some relief. That is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing daily. And I know I have a praying community. I know all of you are prayers. And I'm so thankful for each of you, because I know I can come to you and be transparent and let you know what's going on and let you know how we're feeling and let you know our concerns. And I know that you're starting to pray for us. And we do pray for you as well. Our lakes and reservoirs are back down. Of course, I've got these massive cracks in my yard, guys. Things are drier this year than they were last year, because we did start to see rain in mid-August last year. But things are just terribly, terribly dry. So if we do have a wet and cold winter, hopefully we'll get our reservoirs back up to take on maybe what's coming our way. But again, we're going to pray that that's going to go by the wayside, and we're going to pray that the Lord's going to put us back into a normal weather pattern. Now, I've been in Texas just about all my life, and I know we have hot summers, and I know that we have had even hotter summers in the past, but I'm telling you, this heat is different. It's a very different feeling. It feels like you're getting a burning x-ray on your bones, or that your skull's about to explode. It is extremely hot and extremely weird heat that is very hard to get cooled off. Our saving grace right now has been that we've had some cool mornings, low 70s, upper 60s, and so we're able to get a little bit more done in the mornings. It is nice, it is cool. There's a change kind of in the air. Although when it heats up like it is right now, because it's hot again, you know, it's hard to get out there. Like, I just had to go out there and wet down my carrots, had to go out there and wet down my onions, and some of my little seed starts that I transplanted yesterday. And let's see, what else did I? Oh, and my potatoes. So yeah, we're having to stay on top of that. We're having to keep things hydrated and things watered. But the mornings have been our saving grace, and it's given us a little extra pep in our step. I'm sure you guys have seen. But anyway, I wanted to throw these things out at you, and I want to know your ideas. I want to know what you're thinking about next year. I want to know what you're hearing. And let's go ahead and start to be proactive. I'm a very proactive person. I am not a reactive person, but I think we're going to have to be more proactive than ever before. So think about those things, guys, and let me know your thoughts. We love you. Have a blessed Sunday, and we will be in touch.